edible plants that you can find in the winter. Plants are so important in a survival situation. Using the hammock, can't seem to figure out those little buckles. I heard some movement. I know it's not probably the way it's supposed to go together. I wonder if I was supposed to put this on first. Yeah, I could set the tarp up, but you know what? I'm gonna take that chance. I'm not always a perfectionist, but I know how to survive. Just cozy. Hi, I'm Greg Ovens, and this is Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft. I'm just going to take you and show you the Finley Creek that the dog is named after, and you notice it was spelt with a D, F-I-N-D, but everybody pronounces it Finley. They don't say Findlay. I'm going to show you the canyon and tell you a little story about the history of this river. In the time I've been in this area, I've spent the most time up in this Finley Creek area. Over that time, there's been at least half a dozen people that have drowned in this creek or river. I call it a river. It's more like a river. Should see it in the spring. One of those people was a good friend of mine, Brian, who drowned in this river, and they never did find him. Out of the 6 people I know that have drowned in the river, they've only recovered 1 person. The saying goes around here, if you fall in the Finley, they'll never find you. And you can see that it's canyon. You get trapped in the canyon, you can't get out. And I actually took a couple of young people fishing one time upstream from the falls and the rapids here in the canyon. And I was telling them, okay, now watch, the rocks are slippery. And sure enough, I just said that, and one of the guys fell in the river upstream from me. And he was lucky because I was able to grab him by the coat and help him get back up the slippery rocks, because he would have been down in the canyon, and once you're in the canyon, there's no getting out. You know, hypothermia is the biggest killer of people in the bush, but drowning is number 2. So don't take water for granted. It may not look like anything, but trust me, water is a powerful, powerful force. I always just keep my distance and never underestimate the power of the creeks and rivers. That's another tip. ACEJET knives sent me some throwing knives to try out. It was nice of them. I said I'd give them a shout out if I think they're good. I'm going to try to get 3 into the telephone pole behind me. Let's see how I do. I haven't thrown knives for a little bit. They're supposed to be top of the line throwing knives. So let's see if I can get 3 out of 3. Nice. Nice balance. Oh, just skimmed it, but it stuck. Oh, that one kind of bounced, but that's probably my throwing. I actually haven't thrown knives for a little bit. I like the way they throw. They're quite heavy, throw quite nice as well. Boy, that's something you want to get into around the campfire at night, is throwing knives and stuff, but be careful, be careful. Let's give her one more go. Nice. Nice. Oh, same thing. We're gonna go for 3. 1. That's 1. 2. I like that sound too on the telephone pole.
Ow! Oh, mama! Ow! What is your problem?
3 out of 3. Yes, they're balanced, ACEJET. I like them. You can find them on Amazon. And thanks for sending them. I will be using them because I love throwing knives. You bet. So folks, I'll tell you right now, I am sick and tired of staying in that cramped truck. This truck is too narrow. I don't really like this. Hammock Zach sent me quite a while ago. It's time to be able to stretch out, and it's got the insulated part to it. So I think it's going to be a lot more comfortable than the truck. we're going to find out how well this works. Keep the bell on for notifications, because sometimes I'm a little slow getting the videos done. But thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. All right. I just wrapped it around both ways and tied it. Can't seem to figure out those little buckles, how they work properly, but once it's wrapped 2 or 3 times and just one knot, it's fine too. Finley. Come on, pup. No, 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 no. Don't do that, man. Yeah, chew on that stick. Nah, I can't go anywhere. I remember the first night that I ever stayed in one of these, I fell out of it. In the middle of the night, I somehow rolled or fell out of my hammock, but in the process, I lost the key to my truck. So, I'm glad that didn't happen when we were on the top of the platforms. One cool thing is that there's no mosquitoes. I don't know if I can take these mosquitoes. Yeah, this clouds of mosquitoes. I don't think I can do this. It's in my eyes, everything. It's just, ooh, I tell you. Watch it fall. I heard some movement, but I think it's just a branch. And I will figure out how to set up that insulated cover on the bottom, because I know it does get fairly cold at night still. Warbonnet. Well, I don't see. Huh. Wonder if I was supposed to put this on first. Like around before I tied it. I should have looked into that. Oh no, I can probably, okay, I can clip that end. I'll figure it out. So I do have this clip here, which I think I can just clip on that side. And you guys know I'm always improvising with things. But one thing I was thinking about, it looks like it could snow. It's going to get cold and it's clouded over. Maybe it will snow. But here's the thing. Yeah, I could set the tarp up, but you know what? I'll bet you anything that the mosquito net on this is fine enough the snow wouldn't come through anyway. And you know, you might say, well, your body heat, melt it, drip. We'll see. I'm going to take that chance because that's the way I do things. And once I'm in my sleeping bag, I don't think there'll be enough body heat escaping to melt the snow if it does. So we're going to go with it. I'm not always a perfectionist, but I know how to survive. This will work fine. There is a clip here. Now, by the time my body weight goes down there, that's perfect. I don't see a problem with that. I know it's not probably the way it's supposed to go back or go together. It's gonna be nice to stretch out, Finley. Set. Let's test it out. Take my boots. Oh yeah, I can tell. It's gonna be a lot better than cramped in that silly little truck. Let's just see here. Watch it break. Got the insulation here. Well, I got a good sleeping bag too, but I know this is going to be the way that I'm going to want to sleep from now till spring. Oh yeah, I like it already. Ferro rod in there sparking. You're always trying to help, Finley, but you just get burnt. You gotta be patient. Finley chasing sparks. That is funny. It's hot. That's hot. That was pretty funny, Finley chasing the sparks there. He's not going to get burnt by little sparks. He knows enough not to get close to the fire, but a good suppression dog, I guess, or firefighter. Chases the sparks around and puts them out. That's cool. Now I'm going to get him fetching wood eventually. That'll be even better. I'm ready to retire. I got my little buddy Finley in the truck. I don't want anything happening to him because actually there's been a couple of cougar attacks here in BC recently that have taken dogs, and I don't need him to go missing. Actually, it was weird. The one guy, dog about Finley size, that was on the news hour, and he was walking his dog down near Vancouver somewhere, and the cougar just came out of nowhere, grabbed the dog and took off. So I don't need that. Now, I haven't seen any cougars myself this year yet, but last year I saw 6, and I know there's lots of cougars around. But I'm not worried about them myself, especially when I'm sleeping, because like all cats, unless you're moving, they're not a threat. They're not going to just jump out of nowhere and attack something that's not moving. You know, the other thing I was thinking too is I got to come up with a saying, like Zach, you know how he does the fowler out thing? I got to come up with something. But with me, it would be more likely like, I poked my eye out. Sun's coming up. This is in my way. But yes, that is far better than the truck. Just cozy. Like I say, it wasn't 30 below when I did this, but at least I can stretch out. I'm not cramped in that truck. So, get on with our day. Find some plants I can show you that you can find in the winter. And we'll see what else we can get up to today. Let that truck out, or let that truck out. Let the dog out of the truck. And we'll get on with things here. Right on. This time of year here, foraging wild plants is going to be difficult. But I'm going to show you some wild plants that you can harvest in the winter. It's hard to identify plants because obviously the plant itself is dead. So if you're trying to forage wild roots, bulbs, then it gets more difficult to identify the plant itself, obviously. In the old days, the pioneers, the settlers, a lot of them died of scurvy. Plants are so important in a survival situation year-round, and winter in the Rocky Mountains here would be a tough go. We have a lot of fir here, easy to identify. You can make tea out of fir. You can tell it's kind of got flat needles, but like I say, do your research. I'm not going to get into all the technical ways of identifying the trees, but fir, good for tea. Also, you get in your vitamin C, your vitamin A, you get starches, and you also get natural sugars out of a lot of these needle teas that we're going to deal with. So now I'll show you juniper. You can make tea from the berries and the needles. You can find the berries in the winter, but they're very strong tasting. I use them for a seasoning more than anything because they're so strong. That's what they make gin out of, or at least flavor gin with. Behind me is a large ponderosa pine, and what I want to say is the needles from the ponderosa are toxic. Most pine needles are toxic. Now, there are exceptions. White pine. So when it comes to pine, do your research. They have a toxin called I'll think of it in a second. Isocupressic. They make turpentine out of pine, so it is toxic. Now, I'm not saying that it's so toxic that a cup of tea is going to kill you. Cedar needles have toxin as well called Foraging. Make sure you check your needle teas. Why not get a tea that isn't toxic? So while I was talking about the pine trees, I noticed a wood lily. Hard to recognize maybe, but I'll show you that. The ground's pretty frozen. Maybe I'll have to try to find a different one. I can't seem to get deep enough. And don't feel sorry for the hatchet. It has no feelings. I'm gonna see if the ground is a little softer where the sun's been hitting it more. This is nodding wild onion, hard stalk in the middle. You might mistake it for grass, but that's basically what they look like in the winter. And the top is fallen off. That's frozen, but I might get it. Get out of the way, you're gonna get her. That's dangerous, buddy. Yeah, the ground is just too frozen right now. It's just really hard to get deep enough. What you'd have to do in a situation like that, if you locate them, is maybe build a little bit of a fire over top, thaw everything out, and then get at them. But it's too hard to ground. Wild onions. That's going to be good in our stew. There we go.
There it is.
The natives used to cook them up, so they're supposed to be potato-like. Look at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful looking, the bulb. It's so white and clean.
They say you can eat it raw.
How is it?
I couldn't really tell because I had the...
Oh, that's good.
Rose hips. You find them all winter. I know that they're very common almost everywhere in the world. Eat them raw. Crunch them up, put them in some warm water for a tea. They do have a lot of seeds in the middle, but perfectly edible. Full of vitamin C. A lot of the supplements, vitamin C supplements you buy in the store are made from rose hips. There's a bit bigger rose hip. That one's tasty. I actually think that there's more flavor to them in the winter than the fall. Something about them freezing and thawing and freezing, I don't know. They're pretty good this time of year. There's the kinnikinnick. It's a ground cover plant. Berries you can find all winter. Perfectly edible. These ones are not really perfectly ripe. Very bland tasting, but full of vitamin C. Nothing wrong with them as far as survival berry in the winter. There was something else I was going to say. No, I forgot. Well, it'll come to me on the next scene, I guess. Okay, that's what I was going to say. They're also called bear berries. Actually, that one wasn't that bad for flavor, actually, even. We have lodgepole pine, which you want to avoid as well. So like I say, when it comes to the pines, look into it. But we got a small larch here. Now, as you know, larch, they lose their needles. But larch is one of my favorite in the spring when the new buds come out. You can throw them into casseroles, soups. I just grab the new buds off of the larch in the spring and just chew on them. I actually really like them. So if you haven't tried larch, try that. Spring is coming, so I'm going to be doing a lot of recipes with foraged wild plants coming up this year. I know a lot of you folks really enjoy the wild plant aspect to some of the videos. We ate a lot of the wild plants on the 30-day challenge, me and Zach. But I'm going to make some recipes this year with some of these plants and show you ways that you can utilize them, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy them. So happy foraging, but be careful and look into things. Despite what videos anybody has out there, look into it yourself. Research it, Google it, and make sure you identify plants. One thing I have done in the past is I've actually tasted some of the poisonous plants and berries, like baneberries and twinberries, and basically they taste awful, so you're not going to want to eat them. I didn't digest them or swallow them, but to see what they taste like, and I can tell you, you probably wouldn't eat a lot of these poisonous plants anyway. But do your research. I almost knocked the camera over. Stepped on a stick and it flipped the camera. Okay, so I hope that you learned something. I appreciate all you viewers and subscribers. Thanks for watching. Lots of adventures. The better weather's coming. Lots of plans this year. So, keep the bell on for notifications. I'm Greg Ovens. Thanks for watching. But I guess if you're watching, you probably already knew that one. See you on the next one.